What's up, my beautiful people? Exile451 here with yet another daily dose of Reddit Happy. Going back into r/get motivated again today, so let's get to it. Our first story is from user Jesse James. How I slipped into depression and alcoholism in my 40s, nearly lost everything, and how professional treatment helped get me back on track. I'm 48, married, 3 kids, house, and all that. Pretty average and normal guy. All my life, I have been incredibly upbeat and happy, creative, motivated, productive, and sometimes to a fault. I was almost always unstoppable when I got started on something. That all changed when I was about 42 or 43. I'm not sure exactly when or why, but looking back, I remember a few red flags. I felt more emotional than usual some days. I was more tired, craved alcohol, and started drinking almost daily. I started eating like crap all the time. I can't believe that I would drink 2 to 3 sodas a day. I hate that stuff. Depression set in, and while sometimes I thought about the whole meaning of life and suicide, usually I just wanted to sit around and do nothing. Watch TV, mindlessly surf the web, play video games. I had a long list of projects and books, which all started to gather dust. I frequently read posts from r/get motivated and bought books to help, hoping to find something, some words, some story, some trick to get me back on track. But I never did. Nothing really clicked. A few years into this, I talked to my sister, who is 5 years older than me, and she said the exact same thing happened to her. She offered no solution, however. I did think it was interesting that we both felt this way because it pointed to something biological. Finally, my wife told me to get help because I was getting worse. My job was suffering, and for the first time in my life, I was getting bad reviews. I used to be the best member of the team. What happened? I begrudgingly talked to my doctor, and we started trying different medications. Maybe I had ADHD, maybe I had low testosterone. All sorts of what ifs and a new pill. I don't remember all of the ones I tried, but nothing seemed to work. The short story is all of this took a toll on me in every way. I've gained 25 pounds over 5 years. My work suffered more and more, and I finally got laid off, a nice way of firing me, from my job of 10 years that I could practically do with my eyes closed. Then it took me almost a year to find a new job, and I wiped out our emergency fund plus an investment fund to stay above water. Then one day, my doctor recommended another medication, and what did I have to lose? We switched again. Well, what do you know? This one actually worked. Within a week, I felt like my younger self. I had abundant energy, my mind felt clear and awake, and I could not believe how much stuff I had let go. In just the past month, I have tackled over 100 projects, small and large, and completed them. The true measure is the fact that I don't surf the web every day, all day and all night. I spend 15 minutes before work, and then maybe 15 minutes after work. Maybe a little on the weekends, and that's it. My computer is off. It's unbelievable. I can't remember the last time I played a video game, but I am back to my old self, doing things and being productive. A lot of stuff is just little things, like cleaning off my desk, which has been a disaster area for years. Some is big stuff. I cleaned out and organized our garage and parked both cars in there for the first time since we bought the house. I have a small tech company that I run on the side, and within days I signed up a new client, the first one in over 7 years. I also, thankfully, got a new job, and within the first month, my managers are saying the same thing I used to hear from my old managers. That's great, keep plugging away. In just the past week, I have started working out. I'm starting slow as to avoid injury, but as of yesterday, I am taking 2-mile-long walks a day. Doing push-ups, I did 10 yesterday, which is a record for my fat butt. Pull-ups, a record 2 yesterday. And am starting to do weight training again in a few days. Gotta get a bench and a bar set. I miss it so much. I don't know why I stopped. I have also started keeping the kitchen clean. And I mean, it's spotless. Every time I come in, I clean, do whatever I want, and clean again before I leave. My wife used to complain how anytime I made anything, it was like a tornado came through. She started to complain again yesterday out of habit and came to a realization that made me smile. She said, I really hate it when you... Wait, what am I saying? You've been keeping the kitchen so clean, it's amazing. I don't know why I'm complaining. Carry on. It was nice to see that her perception has changed. At first, she expressed concern that I was experiencing a manic episode, but after a month, she realized that this truly was who I am, the man she married. She had been trying to protect me in a way, and was trying to tell me to be careful that this is just temporary. But now she is sitting back and letting me be me again. That's the story. I'm glad I worked with a professional, and while I would normally eschew medications, my doctor proved me wrong. If you're struggling and have not worked with a professional, maybe it's time you do. I sure wish I had when this first set in. I feel like I would have been 5 years further along and in a better way, and a whole lot less fat. Thanks for taking the time to read this. Edit. Ow, my inbox. The medication is mirtazapine. It's generic. Of course, please consult a doctor before taking any medications as it does have side effects and interactions with other drugs. Second edit. I'm on 30 milligrams but way close to 200 pounds. Please talk to a professional before trying any medication. Also, I'm trying to reply to as many folks as I can but had a busy day. I got halfway through changing the power steering line on the minivan and the last fitting stripped, so I'm going to tackle it tomorrow. If you're suicidal though, please call the National Suicide Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Third edit. Several people pointed out I failed to discuss my alcoholism. I could go into tremendous detail about that as well, but frankly, it's a textbook case. It tainted every aspect of my life and has left a trail of wreckage as well. I would binge drink upwards of half a bottle of vodka almost every night of the week, if not more. And it crept up over almost 17 years. It was only after I lost my job of 10 years that I used to be a superstar at, and this whole spiral, did I realize the damage and have since taken steps to recover. If you or someone you know is alcoholic, please seek professional assistance. Final edit. By the way, after I lost my job, I was on Medicaid, which paid for my appointments and medications. We also had EBT and TAMF, plus some other assistance programs. We had no other help. I did not have any money and, in fact, am $14,000 behind on my mortgage, $90,000 in debt, and filing bankruptcy. My credit score was over 800 2 years ago, and now, well, I was recommended to file bankruptcy. If I can find help, you can too. Well, that last edit didn't necessarily leave it on the most positive note, but still, it sounds like you're in a much better place than you used to be, OP. Addictions like that and those kind of downward spirals can always be just a terrible thing to go through. And beyond that, just extremely difficult to climb out of. I wasn't planning on mentioning this, but since you did mention the suicide hotline, I feel like I may as well. On this last Sunday, I got news that a friend of mine who was a big supporter of the channel took his own life because of somewhat of a similar situation. A lot younger than you too, so it was really tragic because he had his whole life ahead of him, but he let depression just spiral his life out of control. Now granted, he had to deal with a really serious case of it, to the point where they were doing all sorts of weird experimental drug treatments on it, involving like ketamine and magnets and all these other things. But he'd drink and do drugs and stuff just to try and run away from the pain. And ultimately it consumed him. And it's really sad because, you know, while I hadn't really been super close with him the last few years, just because life, it still hurt pretty bad when he went through with it. But your story just proves there is always a chance for a better tomorrow. Sometimes it's just something as simple as changing up a medication. Other times it's as simple as asking for help and not trying to do this all on your own. And yours is a great example of what you can achieve when you're willing to seek help. And how, while intrepidism and willing to do it on your own is a great quality and virtue, sometimes you just need to acknowledge that this is beyond your own power. So thank you so much for sharing this personal insight into your life and everything that you've gone through. Honestly, your story is very motivating, and I know there are people out there who would benefit from hearing this. You do prove that there is a chance to do better in life, to have things turn around. Thank you so much for sharing the post, and I really hope that wherever you're at, you're doing better than you were when you actually posted this. That was r/getmotivated, and if you want more motivational stories about people changing their lives for the better, then go ahead and check out that playlist link in the description below. Now you guys go out there, have a great weekend. I will see you all on Monday. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.